Okay. All right. So I think here we are in our 2-point perspectives, first part. The video that you saw has a little bit of audio problems, but I think if you want to see that again, you can certainly do that. Um, and so that's what is provided there. Now, as I mentioned, we have a couple parts of the assignment that we're going to be doing this week. The first part is kind of a step-by-step walkthrough of a perspective exercise. And if you just follow along with the videos that we provide, you should be done in about an hour or so. It's not anything I need you to upload. Well, let me take that back. It's nothing I need you to finish in a highly finished way, like your other drawings have been pretty well done. And so you don't have to spend that kind of time, but I do want to see them completed. So after looking at the last, after working through the assignment videos with on this sketch exercise, just upload that, and that'll be the night's activity on that work, and it'll be open, by the way, for the whole week. Both both this and the SketchUp assignment will both you can upload them for the next week or so, and then that'll give you time to do them. Okay, so just a quick peek at what they look like. This is where we're ultimately going, and it's, oh, look at it, it's all sideways. Well, that's the way it's going to be. You can print it out, probably be a good idea to print these out. They're PDFs. I'm going to head and see if I can do the previous one. Yep, okay. So they're in steps, and I build a perspective drawing in steps so you can see them, this being the first. We saw the second and the third. And so if you print those out, you can kind of see how the assignment's going to develop. This was the printout for we don't need this. Let's go ahead and get back to our module here. We don't, if you want to review the lecture again, it's being recorded. So that should be available if something needed to be looked at again and all that. So let me get back to the modules here. And one more. Okay, here we go. All right, so we do have some instructions on working on the assignment. I'm going to read, and so tonight's activity will be pretty much following along. By the way, those are down here under the 2-point exercise. Those videos will be here. As I mentioned, we have a problem with the speed of our uploads right now, and so they're not fully in place. We've got 2 out of 5 pieces in and ready to go. And so if we come down to the exercise, you can see those 2 pieces are here. There'll be 3 more, which will include the actual demonstration. So I wanted you to see where that was and how to get to there. So under the assignment piece, the videos are there to assist you. You might want to print these out, and that'll get that done. Okay, so it's pretty user friendly. Hopefully it'll open your mind to it a bit. Next week we'll spend a lot more time with the fun part of it, which I think will be kind of interesting, and that is making it kind of nice and interesting as a perspective instead of these simple line drawings. Okay, so as we go into the topic of SketchUp, I wanted to also indicate to you that down here under SketchUp, we have some information there. I have a video going in there which will explain some things in a little bit more detail, but they're still loading right now, so I apologize for that. They will be available very soon. So up here, the steps in this process include downloading SketchUp as software. Now, I'm going to tell you that it is very powerful software. It is, we use it all the time here, especially as a design tool. We have 2 or 3 people here who are extremely good and fast with it. We were asked about, it was about this time last year, to help this group in the UK design, come up with a design standard for their offices throughout the world. And they ask us, you know, we want to come up with a palette. We want you to come up with some sort of model way of telling us what our look should be in our Moscow office, our Singapore office, and all these other offices that they have. This is a software firm that has been a long-time client of ours. Anyway, the best way that we found to do that was with SketchUp, and we built the models with SketchUp, and then we applied some peripheral software that helps make it look very realistic with lighting and shadow and other components that SketchUp supports. And when you get done, it looks very, very realistic. And so these tools for a designer are absolutely essential, especially in today's world. So we want to introduce you to this process in steps. And you may not be great at it by the time you end this class, but it's definitely one of those situations where the more you use it, the better you get at it. And so those going on to space planning, you'll be using SketchUp there. And then as you go into your studio classes, the SketchUp becomes even more valuable. So we give some instructions on how to load it up. They're provided here in this this link right here. It gives you kind of just a step-by-step and all that. Those of you who already have SketchUp, you can forego this and set it aside. You just use your regular SketchUp activities. So we have that. We have some very basic tools that are good to print out as you're starting, so that you'll know, you know, kind of what the different functions and so on are. And so we have some steps here to think about. And these are what these tools do and how they're set up for you. Then we have provided, like I said, the SketchUp tools are represented here. Those are the previous were the SketchUp functions. Here's more what those tools do. A good thing to have handy as you're working on things. These right here are not necessary in this assignment, but some folks find them very helpful. These are tutorials that are free on YouTube. And they do a really good job of taking people through the process of building SketchUp models. And so I provide them on the in this module, so that in case you want to, you certainly can go look at the SketchUp tutorials, and it may give you a little bit of a leg up as you're working on the assignments. So we do have a SketchUp file. Unfortunately, the computer I'm on here, right here, is more of an administrative one, and I can't open that file because the SketchUp is on my other computers in the office. But it is the file that you'll be using, and when you open it after you've loaded SketchUp, you'll want to go to this file, and it will create a it'll create the file for, or not the file, but the drawing that you need. Now, I've jumped down just a little bit here because it's good to see a couple things. This is what the model is going to look like, and this is what the screen capture is doing on how to build the model. We have created both a video and written instructions on how to do the assignment. So I think there's lots of tools that you have for exploring and becoming introduced to SketchUp. I find that students do surprisingly well, and those who struggle with it a little bit, it's okay. It's your first stab at it, and there's a lot of grace, for that. So I'm going to step back to where we were. All right, so these are tutorials. This is the SketchUp file. This is a reference plan that's a PDF. You can keep it available, although what we've tried to do is implant this information in the SketchUp file. So when you open the SketchUp file, you'll see the plan already there, so you don't have to monkey around with it too much. So here's some instructions, and here's the video. Let's see if we can get this guy opened up. Okay, so we show in this video how to do the whole thing. And we show the tools. You can stop at any time. You can go back and look at it. By the way, over here on the right is the reference plan that we were talking about. So it's available as your either as a second screen that you might want to open up, or as you can see right here, the plan is imparted right on the drawing or right on the file. So anyway, this is provided for you. There's you can see all the tools that are being used, and this isn't because it's going through Zoom. It's not really showing the high resolution that is available in the file itself. So excuse me. So please do use this. Most students find it very helpful. Okay, so now I'm going to pop out of this. And so there's the video. Like I said, it takes about 30 minutes to do the video, to watch it. There are there's some other information here in case it's not coming up for you in this module link right here. It's provided again in this piece. So what we're doing tonight, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on what the activity you should be working on first. This is first and the SketchUp is second. The SketchUp you can do later in the week, but I think it might be good to have some of the information from the lecture and the assignment information that we're putting in the videos as we start. So as I mentioned, let's see if we can open this up. We have an introduction to the assignment. We have a preview of perspective information, and this is largely showing kind of in a model form what you're seeing as you're and how the perspective rules work and so this is a rather short video. I think it's like less than maybe 13 or 14 minutes long, but it tries to explain the view that you get from the, in this case, a camera or the viewer view of the object, and this is what its placement is. But this is the perspective view from a second camera looking at the same thing. So you can start to see how the rules work just a bit. Below this, you will see we're sending, we've got it uploading now, the actual steps of the assignment. And I'm going to ask that maybe you want to start that after 6 o'clock or so. I think we'll have more uploaded by then, but unfortunately our speed is being crunched way down here. And so that video is slow in uploading to YouTube. So that's what we have in the assignment. I'll just briefly remind you that we have stuff that we're doing tonight, which is a hand drawing, and then we'll have computer stuff on SketchUp. And hopefully you'll find the two pieces compatible. I hope that you'll do the hand drawing first, because I think it gets your brain more tuned to what's going on with perspective stuff, and then the aspect of the SketchUp activity, you can maybe tackle it in pieces during the week to see how that works for you.